It didn't switch on its own like it was supposed to. What's
What
happening,
is
everybody?
going on?
How is everybody doing? Welcome to the Forge. You got Jimmy G over here in the bottom right corner or your left, and you got Billy the Kid up in the top left. We almost have enough for a Brady Bunch thing going here, which is going to be great. But yeah, so Billy, I'm going to let you go ahead and go, and we'll go from here.
All right, everybody, welcome to our Beast Wars Sunday. We are on the 30th year. This is the 30th anniversary year for Beast Wars, which is so cool. We thought our friend Eman didn't know anything about the show, so what better way to do Beast Wars than have the Queen of Beast Wars, Candice Santora, the King of Beast Wars, Ben Yee, my fellow brother in arms who would die for Beast Wars, Derek B., and the man who doesn't like Beast Wars, Eman. Actually, the man who never watched it. But anyway, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. This is going to be such a fun show. Everybody in the chat, we've had people waiting in this chat for a half an hour, like ready to go. So I can't wait to dive into this. Why don't we start with Candice and go down and everybody can just say their hellos and we can get the show going.
Hi guys, I'm Candice, or Canned Ice. I have so many nicknames from work, but you can find me on Instagram. Oh, first of all, thanks guys for having me on again. You know, I love your show. I watch it all the time. I'm often one of those lurking. I don't sometimes always say something in the chat, but I'm watching while I'm washing dishes or drawing or whatever. So thank you for having me. And you can find me on Instagram, candice.santora, Primal Parodies. All the beasts are belong to me. That's my toy photography. And I'm also on YouTube, Primal Parodies. So there you go. I survived Los Angeles and I'm back in Pennsylvania. So
Nice.
yeah, it's good times.
Nice.
Why don't we go next down to Ben Yee, the King of Beast Wars, the reason I even do what I do.
Good evening, everyone. This is Ben Yee of Ben's World of Transformers. Just going to be really quick. Very happy to be here and seeing so many old friends here. It feels great. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Ben. Let's hit up Derek next. Bring him up. Bring up the man.
All right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Derek B. You can find me on your Book of Faces. You can also find me on Instagram as Derek What B. You can also find me on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel every Monday night, where I bring you the robot news and convention news. You can also find me every other Tuesday for Do You Even Transform Bro? And make sure you check out the rest of our lineup of shows. We have Figure Banging. We also have the Realm Hatton Project. We also got Shelf Gravy. And our newest show, we also got Metal Mayhem. We talk about metal card bots. And that's it for me. And thank you so much, Jimmy and Billy, for having me on and hanging out with the Forge.
All right. And thank you for joining us. And of course, the man who never watched Beast Wars, the king of geeks, the Jason Momoa of Beast Wars fans.
Hold on. Can you guys, I just need to check. Can you guys hear me? Is audio working?
Your
Are you talking to
video's
me?
perfect. Your audio's perfect.
Yep.
Come
Okay,
on.
perfect. Just want to make sure. What's going on, everyone? My name is Eman from Eman's World of Geek. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, posting Transformers and comic books and Transformer comic books all in one on all of my socials right there. Give me a follow. Come on over and hang out. I'm here tonight to talk about Beast Wars, the one Transformers show I never watched, and I'm about to get quizzed on tonight. So bring on all the hard questions because I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail them all. Probably gonna fail them all. But
you'll do fine.
I had a good time watching what I watched.
All right. So before we start up, just confirm you were able to watch all of seasons 1 through 3, right? We're not going to do any Beast Machines tonight. We're strictly doing Beast Wars, and I don't want to pull off some season 3 questions if you didn't finish the show.
Okay, so
See?
Hold on. So I had to fast forward and skip. I watched the last two episodes, but I missed 3 episodes prior to that because I was like, I need to finish all of this right now. So I kind of had to fast forward through season 3 to make sure that I at least got the ending of it.
So
but go ahead.
You missed Tiger Hawk?
No. I got the Tiger Hawk. Yeah, that was. We'll talk about that one right there because I really enjoyed it.
Now, so you're saying you finished Beast Wars? Did you go to bensworldofttransformers.com and look at the exclusive clip about the scene that was removed?
I don't think it's up at the moment. I think I lost it for a little while, but it's okay. It'll go back up one day.
I did not, and I heard about it.
But it's on YouTube, though. I think it's on YouTube. So
which one? Which one was that? Is it the one with before they shot off to Cybertron, or?
Yeah, what they did before they left for Cybertron.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's on YouTube. You can find it.
But originally, Ben's website was the only place that had it.
The only place.
That show ended, and you went to Ben's site and you saw what happened. And Eman, since it's not there, ultimately they returned Megatron's spark to Megatron, and Ben had the clip. Like, it was awesome.
Transfer from VHS.
Let me take that question off my list.
All right. So now we know that you skipped a few episodes. Maybe there's some answers you might not be able to provide us with. But I know that Derek's been really building up for this and is really excited. So I'm actually going to let Derek start with the first question of the evening.
Wow. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. So my first question. Season 1. Okay. What happened to Waspinator when he snuck up behind in the episode? I didn't write the episode down. I'm sorry. What happened when Waspinator tried to sneak up behind Rhinox when at Stonehenge?
Okay. What happened to Waspinator when he snuck up to Rhinox?
When he tried to sneak up on Rhinox.
Stonehenge. Didn't someone come in and kind of prevented his attack from happening on Rhinox? No. Dang it! See, when I'm under pressure and I'm told to watch something, I will watch it.
And you've only seen it once, to be fair, right?
Yes, I have only seen it once. So
I understand.
It's been a while, and I'm here trying to come up with a lot of trying to really think about what happened. And I keep thinking that anytime Waspinator or someone tries to attack another Maximal, someone just comes in from behind them and attacks them. And I want to say that it was someone who came back and attacked Waspinator, but I feel like that's completely wrong.
So, okay. The reason why I pointed that one out, because that was actually a prominent part of Waspinator's beginning, because it shows you how impervious to damage that Waspinator becomes in the entire series. So it's like you would think after suffering being blasted like that, he would have been gone. Any other Maximal Predacon would have been gone, not Waspinator. So basically, Rhinox saw him coming. He was at the stasis pod, and he saw his reflection coming behind. He saw him sneaking up on him, coming behind him, And so he turned around, took his Gatling guns out, and just started shooting Wasp, and he's just getting blasted all over the place. And he just, that was just that was a
never
cruel
caught
yet funny moment in Beast Wars history.
I never pieced that together. That Waspinator gets blasted so many times, but like he doesn't get destroyed like some of the other Maximals.
Waspinator was Kenny before Kenny. Like
exactly.
Yes. Oh my God, you killed Kenny.
Yes.
I love the answer that Legion of Comics said here. Legion of Comics' answer was great. Scared him, and Ace Ventura popped out the backside of Rhinox. Perfect. That was.
Oh no. But yeah, you're right. I never put that together, that Waspinator really doesn't get destroyed or blasted or gets torn apart. Some of the other bots did during the show, and he is the only one that was blasted several times and he never broke apart. I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, he was the comedic escape, I guess we'll call it.
Oh dear God, it's already starting.
He's breaking it. All right,
so Manny, the thing you should also know as someone relatively new to the show is the significance of that scene. It's the first time that we see Rhinox use his ballistic weapon, which was based on the weapon that came with the original toy, but that was a melee weapon, which with a saw blade on top of a spinning mechanism with 2 barbs on it. The animators turned that into a gigantic chain gun, and it became known as the Chain Gun of Doom. And it became a fan favorite weapon. And in fact, years later, when they would make larger versions, more complex versions of the Rhinox toy, he would come with the chain gun, 2 of them, as a matter of fact. And every incarnation of Rhinox has somehow tipped a hat to that particular weapon. So even when they made one in Rise of the Beast, which is technically a different Rhinox, they still nodded to it. So that's another notable thing that comes out of that particular scene.
I wish I was more prepared for this show, because every time Ben would have a great answer, I would put up that "the more you know" kind of thing. So it would be just like this really, really great thing. Now, Eman, I know you haven't watched it yet.
King. That's why
I know you haven't watched
the king of Beast Wars.
That's it.
Yeah, it's the king.
Goat.
The king.
It's goat.
It's so tragic in Beast Machines what happens. To Rhinox.
That's a very depressing conversation that we can have another time.
That's another time, but that to me is just such an amazing arc. I love Beast Machines. I don't care what anybody says. I'm a Beast Machines fan. I'm going to ask a question that I really hope you paid attention, and it's almost a 2-parter because you are the king of comic books. And this delves into.
Don't say that.
Oh yeah.
I like the Energon universe, but
no.
Okay.
But you have a deep comic history. I hope Ben comes back for this because Ben's really gonna.
I'm still here. I'm just doing something with my camera. Keep going.
Where's
that damn the more you know?
There's a race of aliens that used Earth as a seed planet prior to the arrival of our beloved Maximals and Predacons. What's the name of that race of aliens?
Wasn't it the Vok?
That is
now.
Correct. Yep, that's the Vok. Later in our youth, 3H Comics added to the lore of Beast Wars and confirmed that the Vok were descendants of something else from the comics. Do you know what the Vok were descendants of, or who?
I don't, but I want to say the Quintessons.
No, I'm sorry.
No. Athletes.
Yeah, it's all right.
To be fair, there's no way he would know this from watching the show.
No. That's why I brought up the 3H Comics. That's why I brought up the 3H Comics, and I would hope he would have done a little of that comic research, because on our last show together, I brought up I was going to ask a comic-bound question. And I wanted to start one of my first with that. The Vok were descendants of the Swarm, who took place during the Generation 2 comics as like these, I don't even know how to put it, like almost like locust type things, but it's a deep question.
Oh my God, that's so deep.
So,
I couldn't even answer the first question.
That would have been extra credit. If you had got that one, I would be like, oh yeah, that's extra credit right there.
Generation 2, man, if you ever want to like pick it up or get the digital copies online, it's worth a read. It's a really interesting take on Transformers, and you've collected comics long enough to know kind of the 90s were a very unique time in
Yeah.
comic history and
comic
how
lore,
comics are
yeah.
written, right?
Yeah.
And that was the Transformers version of what they tried to do to be more extreme, right? As so many things were in that era, while transitioning from old to new. And the Swarm, basically, I can describe it as a byproduct of the Transformers race, and almost like a collective sin in a way.
That's a good way to put it.
And the Vok were actually, it was three things they supposedly descended from. There was the Swarm, one other thing that I can't remember right now, and an unidentified lizard race. Those were the things. So it was like a Gestalt species that came together to form the Vok. But I don't blame you for saying Quintesson, because those creepy faces give off Quintesson vibes for sure.
They definitely do. They definitely do. Thank you, Ben, for that.
I believe the theme of the G2 comics was "This is not your father's Autobot."
That's right.
Yeah,
absolutely. The G2 comics were awesome. Candice, why don't you ask Eman a question and see if he can if you can stump Eman.
Like you guys haven't already.
and then do we have the Jeopardy music? Can we pull up the Jeopardy music?
Due to copyright laws, we can pull up something like the Jeopardy music, but
All right, I wasn't quite prepared with questions, but I do have one that kind of I stumped myself while I was trying to do my artwork of the print I made for TFCon LA. And I was trying to find a reference for Black Arachnia, and I'm looking through the episodes and I'm like, which episode was it that she came into the show? So that's my question. What was the name of the episode that Black Arachnia was introduced?
So I wasn't paying attention to the name of the episode.
Oh,
He had names.
I was like, all right, YouTube episode 1, season 1.
You watch it
episode
once,
1.
right? So you don't know all the episodes.
And I don't know the episode names. You know, oh my god!
I give you a hint. I give you a
taking
hint,
notes.
and it may be if I'm thinking of it right. It's the name and the title is what they are.
The name and the title is what I am not looking at Transformer Wiki right now. I
am.
promise you that there's nothing on here that says anything about Transformer, Wiki. It's not the web.
This is not Miss America. This is
really kind of.
You can't dance around the answer.
It's not the Spiders game, is it?
But it focused a lot on Rat
Was
Trap,
it?
actually,
It wasn't
the
that episode. Okay, I thought it was that episode.
No.
I thought
No,
that
Spider's
wait,
Web was
that's-
Inferno, right?
Yeah. Yep.
By the way, Inferno is freaking hilarious.
He is.
Oh,
he
yeah.
is funny as
I love
shit.
Inferno.
Very popular
Constantly
character.
calling Megatron his queen.
And he was his queen.
It's not the web, is it?
No.
Episode 3?
No.
No.
I'm not looking at Transformer Wiki whatsoever. I swear.
Man,
it's
He's
was
cheating.
it Double Jeopardy?
Yes.
Was it
That's
Double
right.
Jeopardy? Oh,
Double
all right.
Jeopardy, yeah.
That's right.
I tell you, it took me
I'm
forever
not
to find
looking
that
at Wiki at
episode.
all. This is off the brain.
Wait, are
So-
you sure it's not a Spiders game? Because that's where he detects a new stasis pod. That's where he
Yeah, but-
finds her,
Yeah,
right?
but that was
She was already there.
That was
already
Inferno.
there, yeah.
That was Inferno.
Inferno. Yeah.
I have the easiest question of everybody. I'm going to ask you.
Do you? Do you
No, I
really?
do. I have the easiest one, probably.
Obviously.
I've got the easiest question. Who is Rat Trap's great aunt?
Oh,
Wow.
That was a fun one.
That's the easiest question
man, come on, even.
in the world, and it's from one of the most emotional episodes, period, because it's you only get this character in one episode, and in the few scenes that it's in, voiced by, maybe I'll ask you who voiced that character too, voiced by a legend who actually is Rat Trap's great aunt, and it's such an impactful episode. I can't imagine that this impactful episode, you would miss this easy question.
Who is Rat Trap's great aunt?
Yep. No
It-
cell phones. Put the phone down.
Let's see what
Hold on.
TF Wiki says.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
well, that helped him
Hold on.
last time.
Because if I remember correctly, it had to have hit me pretty much in the feels when I saw. I was like, oh, did he say what I think he said?
Yep.
Was it? No, not Alita. Was it RC?
It was.
Ding, ding, ding,
It
ding,
was
ding,
Very
RC.
good.
ding, ding,
Oh,
I got one.
We
Oh,
So-
no,
got
it's one of the fembots. Wait. It's RC. I was like, RC.
send in the fembots.
yeah, and that was from the Transmutate
RC, yeah.
episode, and
Yeah.
Sue Blue voiced Transmutate.
Very, very cool. So we do have a
Wait,
question
hold
from
on,
the
whoa,
crowd.
whoa.
OG boys.
Did she?
What? Oh,
Did
she
she?
did.
You didn't know
I
that?
never knew that.
Absolutely.
Dude, it was
I
a big
never
deal back
knew
in the
that.
day. Keep in mind,
That-
Sue Blue voice directed,
Yeah.
so she was available to do it. So she did it.
Correct.
It was great.
That is dope.
Wow.
That is seriously
And
pretty
that
sick.
that
Oh,
episode is
that makes it hurt even more when he. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
All I can still hear her going, "Stop!"
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, that.
Fantastic.
Yo, okay,
Like
okay.
amazing. All right, so Jimmy said there's
RC.
some questions from the crowd.
There is one question from the crowd. It says, "So this is a mulligan here for you. So this is a pretty easy one. Ask him what his favorite Beast Wars character is, please." This is from Just G Squared.
Okay.
Gee.
So before
Yeah.
I was saying it was I has Optimus Primal just because I didn't know too much about him, and then
That's
as
just
he grew
Prime.
into Optimal Optimus, I was like, okay, that design's pretty cool, but it just doesn't feel right? And so just watching the show, and I'm gonna have to say this: anytime this specific character came on, it just always brought a smile to my face, no matter what. This one entertained me. This one may not have been a huge integral part of the story, but he was. But I laughed every time I saw him, and it was Inferno. I really, really freaking love
Totally fair.
Inferno because that stupid ass ant made me laugh all the time.
Because he's awesome.
Anything for my
Yeah.
queen. Yes, my queen. Just Megatron's
Yeah.
like, why would
Oh,
should stop calling me that?
Inferno rocks. Yeah.
And
Inferno is
yeah.
funny as shit, dude. I love
We're on a
that.
mission for the royalty.
Yeah. And John Doe was asking everybody who their favorite character is. He says mine is Depth Charge and Optimus Primal.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say because I just saw the episodes with Depth Charge in it recently. I love a manta ray. Like manta rays are like one of my absolute favorite animals in the world, and to see Depth Charge, I was like, oh, that is actually pretty dope. Like I had a connection with him almost right away. But he was okay as a character. But Depth Charge, because he was a manta ray, like I had my eye on him a lot. You know, like
Yeah.
all right, do more.
Did you sing "Let's Name the Zones"? The zones.
It brought me back. It brought me back to Moana actually when her grandma passed away.
Grandmother.
All these manta- yeah.
Yeah.
It was all
All right,
these, like, manta rays being around.
Billy. Who's your favorite?
So I actually have like a triple tie for my favorite Beast Wars characters. And it's simply because Optimus Primal's character development is everything that they should have done with Rodimus Prime in Gen 1 Transformers to me, right? You've got this young guy thrown into this position. He's just an explorer. He's not this warrior leader, and he develops into this amazing leader. Love him. Beast Wars Megatron is my favorite Megatron of all time. Like there is no better Megatron than Beast Wars Megatron. That guy set out to do something and he did it. He actually won. And then Tarantulas is everything I love about a villain in any type of series. Like he is just this conniving genius. I love everything about Tarantulas, especially like Mad Scientist Tarantulas Transmetal form has the balding, like the receding hairline type design with this head. Like every little detail that went into Tarantulas is just perfection to me. So those are my three. I can't choose between the three of them.
All right. How about you, Candice?
Oh, I think a lot of people know who my favorite is.
Who
For
would that be?
the same reasons that Billy said about Optimus. That's one of my favorites. He's also tied with Rat Trap. I love Rat Trap because he's small like me. He's witty. he's got that kind of sarcasm, and he's kind of negative sometimes, and he's lazy. And I just get a kick out of him. And on the Predacon side, I got to go with Megatron for the same reasons Billy said. And also Inferno was one of my favorites, though. And I just try to imagine Jim Burns doing that voice, because you look at him and you don't really see that. To me, you don't really see that coming out of him, but it's just amazing. Amazing. I love it. So those are my 4 go-tos.
I get it.
All right, Mr. Bigsby.
I got to give it to Cheetor because I loved Cheetor's character development over the years since the show started, even in going into Beast Machines, because that's where he really evolved into his own. He's a teenager. He's a kid. Started out, on this crew. He was the youngest of the crew. He was basically your equivalent to Bumblebee, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay. And as the character grew into the seasons, as he learned more, because he was doing childish things throughout the season, and Optimus always had to check him in some sort of way, or educate him. All of them had a part in him growing up around them. So he was that kid that grew up around these adult bots that were already experienced in everything that they did, and he was just learning the trade of how to be an explorer and into how to be a warrior at the same time. And you really saw his actual growing up when Black Arachnia became part of the crew as a Predacon, when she was a Predacon, and he was like, he was maturing, if you will. And and then when he made the full transition into the Transmetal 2 Cheetor, that was basically his, he was he's going into his young adult phase, if you will. So it was just fun. For me, it was Cheetor because I love watching Cheetor grow up. Because we can all identify with how he came along. We can all identify with that. So it's just like, okay, when you think about character development, Cheetor was definitely the one to be watching the entire series.
Derek, if I may make a correction here as a new Beast Wars fan here, I believe it's pronounced cheater. Cheater.
It depends on the
I
episode.
believe, according to him, he's called himself cheater.
Cheetor.
Derek just brought his glasses down. Uh-oh.
He's referred to himself as that, sir.
You just made the list.
He's
correcting me when he knows he's wrong.
All right, Ben, the king of Beast
thing.
Wars.
No.
Actually, that's an interesting tangent. Side note: pronunciation of the characters' names does vary every now and then, depending on the character. Scorponok, who is that the way I just pronounced it, that is the traditional way to pronounce the name from G1. Sometimes it sounds like Scorponox, with an X at the end. And why? Because that's actually how it was spelled in some of the scripts. So you will hear variations on how character names are pronounced. Now, Cheetor, you're right that connection to the word cheater, as someone who would cheat, you could consider him like almost a mischievous character if you connect it in that way. And he is sometimes called that depending on who's saying it. But I believe the first time he uses his activation code to transform in Beast Wars Part 1, I think he emphasizes the O pretty significantly. He doesn't always do it. But in that particular scene where we first get introduced to him, he does. There's a lot of, if you listen to the voice acting early on, there's a lot of heavy emphasis on names and certain words. They really drag out certain syllables on purpose. I think that's how the direction was given, because these are new names. They wanted the kids to fix on the names, learn the names, so you'll go buy the toys, right? Later, once we started learning and we knew all their names, they didn't really need to do that as much. They could say their names a little faster, which then led to different pronunciations sometimes. Now, certain names never change. Tarantulas was always Tarantulas, right? Megatron, there's no other really way you can pronounce that. But Scorponok was one that they changed off, and Tudor sometimes changed. So yeah, it's interesting that it's what we hear, right? Depending on what episode you're looking at.
Yeah.
So Ben, who are your favorite Beast Wars
I'll keep it
characters?
short. I'll give two characters. I'll give a regular and a guest star. Regular character, Rhinox was my favorite because he was the whole package. He was kind of Spock, Scotty, and Worf in one character, right? He was super strong. He could stand toe to toe with Megatron, right, in a fist fight. He had an amazing ballistic weapon, two of them actually, right? He was also super smart, an engineer. He could build things, he could tinker, he could repair things, and he had an emotional maturity and wisdom that made him a good mentor. So to me, he was the whole package, and I love the Rhino form because it's one of the more unusual forms. If you look at the pantheon of Transformers toys over 40 plus years, this is only a handful of Rhinos. And a lot of them are Rhinox. So those are the reasons I love them. And for the guest star, and I am completely biased here, okay, folks, I am admitting that, but Ravage is my favorite guest star character.
Oh yeah,
because yes, I had something to do with those episodes, but that's not why. Ravage is the perfect embodiment, in my opinion, of what Beast Wars as a series is, which is a transition point between Generation 1 and what would become the future of Transformers. Beast Wars is the line that saved Transformers. Before that, sales were down, the line was almost canceled, and in fact, to make room for Beast Wars, a line of toys was canceled. So G2 ended, and some of the toys that were made for it would later come out, like in Machine Wars and stuff. But it was basically swept aside, and they said, let's go with this radical new idea. And it was so different than what came before. But Ravage is firmly a character that we knew, we grew up with, and we saw in the past. And here he was in this new form, but still nodding to the past. And the Agenda 3-parter was a love letter to G1 and proof that Beast Wars was part of the G1 era. It was the future of it, but also proof that those who were making it cared about the past. And every series that has come since has been held to that standard, I think. Even if you look at something like Armada, the Unicron trilogy, which technically takes place in a different universe, there's still a lot of nodding to the past in that show. And look at Cyberworld, which is on right now. There's so many G1 Easter eggs in there, beyond just having an Optimus and a Bumblebee and so on. So I think Ravage really embodies that. And also, interestingly enough, some of the political thought at the time of what was going on in the world, stuff that we grew up with, the tensions between Russia and the United States, which is what he symbolized in the world of Transformers. He's just a fascinating character to me, and I loved what Larry and Bob did with him.
What I loved about Ravage also was that he spoke, right? And when watching the TV, the G1 cartoon, that he was just a growling puma, right? But in the original
Jaguar.
Comic book, he had a couple of lines almost like in the first few pages. So in the comic book, he spoke. So to me, I made that connection of like, hey, that's right. Ravage does speak in a different universe within the comic books. So I thought that was really, really cool with Ravage.
Yeah.
And plus he's too, I don't know if this was me, but to me, he sounded like Javier Bardem. Like that's what he sounded like to me.
Lee Tokar was instructed to do a Russian accent. Why? Because of what I just mentioned before, where essentially the Autobots and Decepticons had entered a Cold War, and it wasn't that they were all friends and happy together anymore, right? And the Maximals and Predacons also were in a Cold War, and he kind of represented that, if you take an 80s allegory, right, that Russian agent who you're not sure if you can trust or not. Seems like the good guy at first, but is he really? That's really what they were thinking when they gave him that voice direction.
I love that. I love hearing that.
And another fun fact for Eman, He was a Jaguar.
Oh, thank you, Jaguar.
You're welcome.
You know
Say it
what
with
though? His beast mode in G1 confused a lot of people. There was a dude. He wrote an I don't forget his name, but he wrote an unofficial Transformers guidebook like 30 years ago,
Mhm.
and I read the whole thing cover to cover, and he kept identifying Ravage as a dog.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had to write the guy way back when. I said, dude, great book, you did a great job, but Ravage is a Jaguar. He's not a
Yeah.
dog. Like different
Jaguar.
species altogether. So yeah, it's an easy mistake to make. A lot of people have made it.
Yeah, but Eman made it, and that's going to go on his great book.
Damn, this is a harsh crowd.
Minus
My
2 points.
goodness, it's
Yeesh.
not gonna work.
All right.
Hold on, where's my
I'm gonna-
Transformer card? Do I need to give it to you guys and then just like work on it and get it back one of these days? Here,
I'm
hold
going to
on.
ask you a real easy question, E-Man.
Everyone's been saying that tonight, and
This is easy. This is easy, man. This is easy. This is easy. All right. In season 1, there was so much energon on the planet that the Maximals had to take beast forms, or else their robot modes would overload on energon and they'd go into stasis lock. In season 2, a majority of that energon has been destroyed. Most of them now have transmetal bodies. When their bodies absorb too much energon as transmetals, how do they expel that energon? And the easiest way to maybe rub your memory is Derek's favorite character
Yo,
shows us
I knew he was going to refer to that.
shows us how they do that.
So,
I don't
come on,
know.
Eman. You got this, man.
Hold on.
Honestly, this happens right before they introduce one of my favorite Predacons.
Because I know they were doing, because I know like when they turned into the transmetal, like they were able to absorb it a lot better, a lot easier. There wasn't as much around. I know that. But how do they expel it if they have too much of it? They don't.
Cheetor has an overload of energon when they're finding. I'm going to even make it even easier. When they find Protoform X's crashed stasis pod.
I remember that
Something
episode.
happens here. Okay.
Hold on.
Something happens.
Something happens.
It's not where they transform into like their little
There's no
vehicle mode,
transformer.
is he? No.
Nope.
Oh my God. I can't explain this, teacher, Mr. Billy the Kid.
His brand new transmetal bod has absorbed so much energy, he's about to set one off.
It's what people do when they're in public at the mall.
Derek.
Or in an elevator and nobody knows who it was.
It's not like letting off a fart, is it? It's not
Ding,
that.
ding,
Is
ding,
is
ding,
it
ding,
really?
ding, 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 ding.
They have to let go like exhaust fumes.
Technical term is floating an air biscuit. So
And then
He had to do that.
TM2DB stated this happened to Rhinox as well in the low road, and yes, it did, in a far funnier way. But it was like a nuclear bomb went
Right.
off.
That is so right.
Oh,
Remembering,
yeah,
like, oh wait, what's
yeah.
cool?
Yeah. I'm
Is-
sorry,
did-
man. Like
did
to
he
me, I'm
do-
like, you know what?
Did he do what I think he did? Was that did he just fart?
Anybody have any
Vibes.
questions? Because I've
Heart
got a million, but
digest.
I also know we have a beautiful panel of guests here, and I want to give everybody time. Anybody
Please
have any
give
other questions for this man?
Give everyone else time.
Who
There's so many-
didn't
there's
do
so
his
many-
homework?
I'm
man.
gonna let you guys keep going because
Yeah.
I feel so bad for you right now. I feel like
Look,
it's being tortured.
so
Look,
yeah.
I watched it. I may
right.
not have soaked in all of the information,
all right.
but my eyes have seen them.
You know what though? Let me. This is not really a trivia question. I'm curious because this was your first experience with the series.
It was.
How did you? And I don't know if this question is going to make sense to you, but within the first, let's say, 3 to 5 episodes, how did the vibe strike you of the show? Were you in, or did you need more convincing as
For
you
me,
went along?
I needed a whole lot of convincing, Ben.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Like for me, right now, I have attempted to watch Beast Wars in the past, but the animation just really drove me away, right?
Mhm.
And so as years have gone on, I've heard from people like, dude, like Beast Wars is the one. That's the one. That's the one that you have to watch it. And not even like the first 10 episodes was I fully in. I'm like, all right, the whole first season is discovery. Where are we? Finding new pods, bringing in new characters, just introducing stuff like that. It wasn't until towards the end when the Vok and like their little machines around the planet started popping up where I'm like, what's going on here, right? Once you see Unicron, I made that connection to G1. I'm like, wait, I know this character, but to find out that, oh no, I'm not who you think I am. We are presenting ourselves in a way that looks more superior to someone that you recognize. So that's why we look like this. And I'm like, wait, what's going on here? That was towards the end. So it wasn't until the very end of season 1 where to me it really got interesting. I had to fight and attempt and try to go through all of season 1. And I'm like, it's just discovery, new pods, new planet. Where are we? Energon, get more Energon. Okay, it was just kind of like going around in circles. But it wasn't until like season 2 when it got super interesting. And now after tonight, I'm really going to go back and watch and really, really pay attention to, season 2 forward, because that's when it really made me believe that, oh, this is the reason why everyone is saying this show is amazing. Yeah. This is the reason why this show was the way it was. This is why it has a big fan following. It's almost as if like you can quickly explain season 1 by saying what I just said and just jump into season 2 and go forward, because everything that happened in those episodes I've never really seen before in any other cartoon. Or if I have, it's because of this.
Season 1 is a lot of foundation building. And it builds a very strong foundation, because then season 2 and 3 rest on that foundation, I think. There are a lot of throwaway episodes, and that is a byproduct, I think, of them having so many episodes to work with. And you noticed probably that season 2 and 3 were truncated compared to season 1. That was a budget issue. The economics of it are just difficult. I think with season 1, I'm surprised you didn't make the G1 connection right away when Starscream appeared in the 3rd episode. Or in Possession, where he really appeared and not just in a dream sequence. I think those were very revelatory moments for a lot of G1 fans, because they suddenly realized they weren't watching a complete reboot. They were watching something connected to something before. And I think one of the things that season 1 did very unexpectedly for most of us was basically killing off your good guy leader in the last episode. None of us saw that coming. And that was brilliant, because it kind of felt like we just got to know this guy. It's not like Optimus Prime, who we had like, a couple seasons with, and many, many more episodes than Beast Wars to hang out with. This was just like, hey, I just really got into this guy and you just killed him. That was like a big deal.
They killed him. Like, you saw his pieces floating around space. Like, done.
Yeah, Eman, if you freeze frame the scene where his pod explodes at the very end, where he saves everyone, you can see his screaming face passing by the screen.
Oh.
Yeah, freeze it moment by moment, you'll see it.
All right, homework. He's giving y'all homework. Here we go.
Yeah, that's easy.
That kind of traumatized me when I was younger.
If I can speak to the lore.
Rewind.
Yeah, it was crazy, Candice. I didn't see it the first few times. It wasn't until another fan spotted it online, and I said, "What are you talking about?" And back then, I had to pause a videotape to catch it.
And frame by frame, right?
Yeah.
And when you pause videotape back in the day, it still kind of flickers between like certain things. There's like the bottom static that happens.
Wasn't digital.
That's a different channel.
If you recorded it in SLP, then you're going to get that kind of grainy thing. But if you did it in SP 2-hour time, like I did, you'll be able to see.
Dude, I recorded an SP, but I was doing it off a rabbit ear. I wasn't doing it off cable.
Oh, right. So you didn't off cable? Oh, no. You had to do it off cable, man.
I was lower middle class when I was growing up, man.
I think what
I ain't fancy like you.
Yeah. I think what.
Oh, no, dude, we were both on AOL. We were doing all right.
Yeah. I think what Eman was describing is what comes on Cinemax after like 10 p.m.
All right, yeah. But if I can speak to the lore of Beast Wars in general, see, I came up in most of us, well, I know me and Ben, we came up in a time where, we've been watching G1 for so long and we've been used to that. we also witnessed Transformers Generation 2 as a cartoon, but what that really was, it was G1, but it had taken on some digital forms in a sense with the transitions, with transition scenes and all of that type of stuff. That actually got us ready to watch Beast Wars because all that was CGI animated. You know, when they did Transformers Generation 2, the theme was in CGI. The transitions were in CGI and all of that type of stuff. So that introduced us into CGI animation. Shout out to Mainframe back in the day.
Yeah.
Now, when Beast Wars got started, of course, you know, me as a first of all, I'm an IT geek. I've been in IT my entire life. So to see a CGI animated show that referenced Transformers back in the day, back in the 90s, it really caught my eye because it was just like, okay, I want to check this out. I didn't care about, you know, the story. I didn't care about anything. I just cared about watching it because it was Transformers related. Now I'm glad I gave it a chance because it gave me the opportunity to be invested in the show because it referenced some Transformers stuff in the third episode of the web, like Ben was talking about, they went to a dream sequence where they were back where Cheetah was back on Cybertron seeing some things, and that told me then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is definitely Transformers related, Transformers adjacent, if you will. So I just kept watching it and watching it. Then they brought Starscream in as a Starscream's ghost and all of that, but it got investment. Now, if you're watching Beast Wars for the first time now, you can't appreciate the CGI animation that is in because you've seen so many other things that's way better than that now. But back then, when you were seeing that for the first time, I mean, it was an amazing thing to see
Yeah,
on your
mind-blowing.
TV screen. The things that Mainframe were doing, because they were also doing Reboot, they did War Planets.
Love Reboot.
Yeah, and you know, it was just like, you know, when you saw those shows and the style and quality that they were doing these shows, you were invested in these. For me, War Planets was everything because of what they were doing with that TV series. And you know, I wish they were actually you were able to see it on digital now. I still got my DVDs for that, and that's the only way I'm able to watch that show. So it's like, you know, you had to if you came up back in that day and saw it for the first time, you appreciate it. You can't appreciate it now, like I said, because of everything else that's already existed. Then you're watching that and like, oh man, this looks played out. So you can't appreciate that and watch the story. So I get where you are with it, but I encourage you to just power through it and, you know, watch it even again just to get through the story and pay attention, not so much to the animation, but pay attention to the story itself, because that's where you really appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You know, it was difficult for me as far as like the animation goes. It really was, and I understand that people love the CGI aspect of it all because it was something brand new, especially back in the day. You know, we get a whole new TV show, whole series based off of CGI. It was still a bit clunky, but me, who was kind of like pushing through, muscling through over this last month and a half of watching the show, I did notice that it eventually got better towards the end. The shading, the coloring, the lights, a lot of the effects that they were trying to show and come through, they did better towards the latter stage of the series. So it's not the same animation from the very, very beginning as it was to the end, because it eventually got better.
Yes.
I mean, they didn't even have shadows in season 1.
Well, so
or lighting, good lighting.
Yeah.
So Derek is on point with everything he said. Something that not everyone may know is, I think nowadays we're so used to a world where you could go online and buy a development package full of assets that already exist. You could buy a city to create a video game in right now, right? Back then, such things didn't exist. So Mainframe was literally creating stuff on the spot. So they were taking learnings from Reboot, and that's what went into Beast Wars Season 1. But there were things they were trying to do which no one had ever done before. There is a video online. If I can find it, Eman, I'll send you a link where it's a behind the scenes at Mainframe back in the day, and it's just a bunch of folks around these old CRT monitors, with like desktop computers like we used to have that we would do our papers on for school, right? And they were just figuring it out. Like, we need a scene where this guy does this. We don't know how to do that. How do we figure that out? And they were figuring it out on the fly, which is why by the time we got to season 2 and 3, it got better because they had figured a lot of that stuff out. The other thing to note is regarding the shadows. Shadows were eliminated in season 1 mostly due to rendering time. They had to deliver the show quickly, but they had the capability of doing it. And if you watch certain episodes, I think Chain of Command is one good one. There is a scene where the Maximals are running at the screen, and they're definitely shadows because it's needed for that scene. So they could do them. The problem is they took too much time to render, and of course, time is money, right? With these shows. Final note for those watching: Beast Wars, if you didn't know, actually won an Emmy for outstanding achievement in animation in 1998. So. Even the Emmys recognize this, robot show at that time had what we would consider back then impressive animation.
Yeah.
So I think that Derek, the other Derek, Autocorrect Primer's question is more geared towards Ben Yee. Why were the Predacons called the Predacons? Was it just simply to keep copyrights and trademarks, or was there a little lore behind that?
It was a trademark thing, for sure. I think what was happening, we kind of talked about this earlier, and Derek, I think, also mentioned something about it, where the G2 era was, this is not your father's Autobot, everything was extreme, and we were making things different and more guns and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it
G.I.
didn't
Joe
work.
Extreme.
It didn't work. And here's the thing. I love Generation 2. To me, Generation 2 gives me all the warm fuzzies because it was one of the most absurd eras of Transformers coloring. But when they tried something drastically different, they had to do everything. They basically tried to throw everything out, with the bathwater. And if you look at one of the biggest clues we have to what they were thinking is not the TV show, but the small comic book, which came with the 2-pack of Optimus Primal versus Megatron, which was a bat versus, a gator. That comic was written before the show, and that comic basically was written with the assumption that Megatron, that Optimus were our Megatron and Optimus, but this was a brand new interpretation of them, and they wanted to distance it from what had come before. So Autobots were now Maximals instead, right? Decepticons became Predacons instead. Also, never underestimate reusing a name that you already have trademarked. If you want to do that, and you don't have to have the lawyers do anything, you already got it, right? So that's why they did it. And of course, Predacons being animalistic, being predatory, being evil, that's the suggestion, right? It works perfectly for them. I mean, in theory, you could have said Terrorcons, but I think they were trying to get away. I think Predator sounds more like fierce and animal-like something out of a National Geographic special. And of course, Maximals were that's self-explanatory.
All right, that works for me. Anybody have any questions for Eman?
The chat said, did Eman notice the rubber duck? And then Eman said, rubber duck, what, where? And I just put, Derek, it's time to get him on this one.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're joking, right? Wait.
You didn't
Derek
notice
even unloads.
Okay.
You're joking with the rubber duck, right?
I wish I was. I
really wish I was. When Megatron goes,
Billy's like, I'm done with this show.
I don't know if you noticed, but when Megatron is in his when he's taking those energon baths in the stasis, not stasis pod, but he's literally in those tanks that they have the energon in. There's a rubber ducky floating on the water. I don't know if you. I'm surprised you never noticed it. That's gonna be the rewatch. I actually noticed it when I first started watching it. I was like, "Is that a rubber ducky? Like he's in the tub?" Wow, that's okay.
Can I jump in?
Did we get the toothbrush?
Right.
Yep.
And then he had the toothbrush for his hand.
Yeah, so
his hand was his dinosaur head. He had the toothbrush brushing the teeth on his dinosaur head when he's in robot form. And yeah, it was It was amazing. And
So-
it's like, and that's why every time you go to a convention now, particularly when you see David K, there are some people that actually come up with actual rubber duckies and have him sign.
I have an autographed rubber ducky from David K.
Yeah.
Hey,
Likewise.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in?
We all do.
This is literally 1 through 3 for you to watch again.
Yeah.
In season 1, that dinosaur head was like Megatron's pet, as Derek said. He brushed his teeth, he did all that good stuff.
Yeah.
In season 2, when he took on his transmetal form, he lost that. That's gone. So they brought in this rubber ducky sort of as his stress relief, right? Instead of petting his cat, he's now hanging out with this rubber duck. Season 3, he now has this dragon head back, and he comes back with that relationship again with that dragon head. It's a really cool dynamic, but there's nothing that makes me angrier than people taking season 1 Megatrons and giving him a rubber duck. That,
And
I
that's
swear
what
to God,
Laser Cat Toys gave him the toothbrush, but then they had a little small black rubber duck on that. But the cool thing with
Season
Laser
1
Cat Toys,
Megatron does not get a friggin' duck.
the cool thing about that Beast Wars Laser Cat Megatron is that is a magnet inside that toothbrush that moves the eyes on that dinosaur head. So it's too freaking cool. Yeah, you need to get that one, Derek. It's pretty freaking awesome.
I got to check that out. You know, Laser Cat makes some cool stuff.
I'm going to ask Eman a question. I'm even going to give you the voice actor's name. No. You stated Depth Charge was one of your absolute favorite characters, and I love
cool.
Depth
Yeah,
Charge,
yeah. He was
right?
really
Like
cool.
David Sobolov voiced him.
Yeah.
For me, it was so cool that David voiced him because David also voiced RoboCop in the cartoon. And let's face it, like Depth Charge is that RoboCop type character. He's coming here seeking that revenge on the guy that did him wrong. It's basically like him and Kane in RoboCop 2, right? But David Sobolov voiced another character in the Transformers movie, a few characters in the Transformers movie universe, but somebody that was a beast. Do you know who he voiced in one of the Transformers movies that was a beast? Ron Perlman voiced Optimus Primal, we know that, but David was involved in, I'll even go Rise of the Beasts. In that movie, he voiced somebody. Actually, two characters in that movie.
Did he do Rhinox in that one?
He did.
He did.
And Battle Trap.
Oh
yeah, he did do Battle Trap.
He
didn't even
was
notice that one.
Rhinox. Yeah, David's the best. He's one of those people I'd love to meet him. Like, he's just always involved. But you said you loved Depth Charge, and I'm like, I would imagine, like, if I find a character that I really like, I then start like hyper fixating on who's this voice actor, what do they do, where else were they, boom, 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 boom. So I thought maybe you have that same trigger I may have.
Believe me, I do. But when it came down to watching Beast Wars, I was like, okay, this is a task that I need to complete. My ADHD brain took this on as a task. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to watch, but just take in the story as much as I can, not paying attention to the smaller, fun details, because I knew this quiz and this test was coming up. But here's the thing that I'm getting out of tonight is that, and one thing that I did finally realize is that it is a fantastically well-written TV show that picks up after season 2, and there's a lot of fun nods that I need to pick up on. I'm like you, Billy. I'm like, wait, I know that voice. I need to look him up on IMDb and figure out what other thing that he's. When does he nap, and what does he eat on Sundays at 12 o'clock? I do stuff like that also. But when my brain takes on a task and it looks at it as a task, it's like, all right, that's the only thing I can do instead of being able to just soak it in for what it is. Don't get me wrong now. I am going to go back and watch Beast Wars now. I am going to start from the very beginning and watch it again and really soak it in and enjoy it and know that I missed a lot of really good things on it. And I'm not just saying this because I'm like, oh, eventually I get to Beast Wars, which is exactly what I've done over the years. After tonight, it's not that I got quizzed. It's that I finally see why the Transformer fandom community loves this show. And I want to love it too, because when I saw the final episode, just a few minutes before I even jumped onto this stream, I'm like, fudge. You can't cancel them. YouTube, don't cancel them. Fudge. I get it.
I
And
think
I
we're
need to
allowed
go
one
back.
F-bomb.
Well, we're saving that for my next question. Because
I'll reserve it for all of you guys.
It's everyone. It's your G1 is what I call it. My G1 was the original Transformers G1.
Yeah.
Everyone's G1 was different.
Yeah.
So there are some people that the Unicron trilogy was their G1. So they have no reference to the older material. They just started from that point and went on. There are some people that Transformers Prime is their G1. It's all about the age bracket of where you really started watching Transformers or the Transformers adjacent shows that were actually out there. So you have that experience because of that, and the lore because of that. Depends on where you started.
Absolutely, dead on. I have a very important question. And this would have come if you paid attention to the show that Jimmy G, Candice, and Gary Chalk had to sort of end the year, right? And I would imagine you tuned in for that one. That was a pretty big show. Gary Chalk and David Kay both voice the leaders of their factions, right? Originally, who were they cast to voice? And this is something Gary told everybody in the chat.
I missed that.
You son of a bitch.
I
get to drop. I get one F-bomb. I get one F-bomb.
Mother. What? Okay, let me guess. All right, let me guess. Originally voiced. Now, are we talking about in Beast Wars?
This is Beast Wars. Beast Wars. There
Who
was
were they
a
originally?
reading,
Who were
and
they
were
originally
cast to voice different characters. Gary let us know who they were originally cast to voice, and then another casting director sat them down and said, "Oh no. You're this guy. You're this. You're going to be Optimus. You're going to be Megatron," and it was just history after that. But they were cast to be different characters. Who?
Give me three guesses.
You get one guess because you should have paid attention to your friend's show, especially when they had Gary.
Damn, but I was brutal.
I know.
And now we're erasing all episodes that Eman was on.
I was more scared of Derek now.
Like where's my Thanos glove? Right?
I want to say Rat Trap. For some reason, I just want to guess Rat Trap, but
who was cast to voice Rat Trap? Which of the two?
Originally, I was gonna say Gary.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say Gary was originally until they chose him for Optimal.
Yeah. Okay. Optimal. That's his name too. Okay. No. So.
Tough love, man.
He is.
I'm just acting. So
I ain't gonna say a word.
Initially,
Get him,
and this is out of the mouth of Gary, who is wonderful, and we're also happy he's in his remission.
Yes,
he's healthy.
Absolutely.
That's
Gary was originally cast as Megatron, and David was originally cast as Optimus.
It was the other way
and
around.
There was a switcheroo before things got finalized, and we get our perfect Optimus and Megatron. Like, I can't hear it any differently. But nope. I was hoping, you watched our show. I know you didn't. Candice is hurt.
I'm gonna go.
Jimmy's hurt. Gary said he's not coming on and doing any of your shows.
Failed everyone tonight.
I
have a lot of homework.
I just great.
Derek's like I already knew it. It was gonna happen.
Now, Ben, were you aware of that previously?
Not previously. No, we honestly had never talked about it. When I've been lucky enough to spend time with Gary and David, we actually rarely talk about the show. We talk about so many other things. I mean, Candice, you could relate. Of course. Both gentlemen are such lovely, generous, interesting people to talk to, and they both know so much. Like, I can and have listened to both of them just sit there for basically like 20 minutes and just talk. And I'm just like, yeah, just keep talking. I'll keep drinking my drink or whatever. So but we never so it's funny. And for me, and this is just me, whenever I spend time with any professional um in Transformers dom, for instance, I had lunch with Bob Budiansky last month, and I very consciously try not to talk about Transformers when I hang out with them, because then it becomes like you're doing a panel and I'm like your audience.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want that to be that for them. So, I mean, Bob and I talked about it a little bit with respect to his time at Marvel Comics, which is what I was really asking him about, like his career at Marvel.
Yeah.
But he's very gracious and generous. But with any of the voice actors, I try to do the same thing, because I'm like, I don't want this to feel like, it's like we're hanging out, we're having pasta or whatever. I don't want you to feel like you're being cornered at a convention, because that's not what I want. So yeah, I had no idea, and I'm happy to learn new things.
Yeah, no, Gary's wonderful. We only grilled him on Transformers because it was on our Transformers
Yeah,
show.
exactly.
I thoroughly agree with you. When you meet these people in person, it's always just best to treat them like they're just another human being.
Yeah, I actually loved all the Hallmark movie stuff that Gary does. So there we go.
And he's got a new one coming out.
Yes, absolutely. Those things are my guilty pleasure. So don't judge, folks.
Okay. Yeah, I don't judge. I had a question and I forgot it.
He was judging, so he forgot.
Billy's like, okay.
I've been judged. It's a wrap.
Obviously, I would have been a Predacon. All right, like we know this by now. There's a reason I'm in House Slytherin and things like that, right? But damn it, I had a really good question.
So Billy, while you're trying to come up with the question, just rewinding a few moments in our conversation, Eman, as you're watching, keep in mind you're also watching the show very differently than some of us did.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
We watched it. Episode airs. We had an entire week until the next episode.
Yeah. Yes.
And if we recorded it, that means we probably watched an episode like once every day until the following episode, right?
Absolutely.
So like 3 to 5 times we analyzed it, we stared at it. And I don't know about everyone else, but for me, the show came in layers with each watch, right? So I would watch an episode one time, just overall story, overall impressions. And then it would be deeper impressions, deeper character work on the second watch. Then by the third watch, you're looking for all the Easter eggs and things that they're throwing in the background and the gags and stuff like that. And then by the fourth one, what you're doing for me, you're taking everything, all the impressions that you got from your previous rewatches, absorbing it into a whole to prepare you for the episode that's about to air, say tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's a very different way of watching it than you're watching it. So you're really taking on a task here that's really difficult for any show, not just Transformers, right? It's like if I asked you to watch all of Star Trek: The Next Generation, but you only vaguely know of the original series.
Yeah.
And then I tell you, now go watch the original series to appreciate it. That's a lot to absorb. Whereas when I grew up, Star Trek aired an episode, and then maybe it would repeat in like 3 or 4 months. So you recorded it and you just watched it over and over again. So I would approach it from that layered approach. If you could, it would help you. You've already done the initial pass, so you've gotten your first impressions, you've gotten your stories. I would start really like now that you know the rhythm of the show, I would just kind of groove with it a little more. But also now you're in the fun position where you could start seeing and hearing some of the fun Easter eggs that we're throwing there. I will tell you, for instance, I won't tell you which, and you may already know, but in one episode, G1 Megatron's fusion cannon is on Beast Wars Megatron's shelf. So look for that. There's fun little stuff like that that's dispersed throughout the show. And also there's a lot of, as someone who's been in geekdom and watched cartoons for years, I'm sure there's a lot of references to cartoons that we probably grew up with, like Looney Tunes. You're going to see a lot of stuff that clearly was inspired by that. And you're also going to hear interesting references to fiction that actually predates some of us. But you got to think the writers were in their middle age, 30s, 40s when they were writing the show. So their influences were from like when we were still babies.
Yep.
right, or not born yet. So it's interesting how much culture, geek culture and pop culture of the past into roughly the 90s gets represented in the show. And I think from that perspective, it will be a lot more of a rich experience for you.
I agree. I agree with that 100%. Because I was just watching. When was it? I think either just like within the last few days, there was a line in season 3. I want to say in season 3. And I, of course, I've never seen any of the season 3 episodes, but there was a line that one of the bots said that was straight out of like Pulp Fiction, the movie, and I'm like, and I started reciting that line with them. I'm like, wait a minute, I know this right here.
That's right.
So hearing that there was a lot of nods, a lot of references to its time, seeing this as a 90s TV show who referenced 90s TV shows and movies, there's a lot of fun Easter eggs. And that's why a lot of people, and I've been seeing it in the chat, and people who've been telling me offline too, like there's a lot of Easter eggs. And those are definitely fun reasons to watch and rewatch something else. I'm 100% going to go back and watch these episodes now as if I am a fan, because I am a fan now of Beast Wars. I am going to say that now. Before, you guys asked, are you a fan of Beast Wars? I respect it. You know, Billy got really upset when I said that. You know, but after today, you know, I can't say I'm a fan of Beast Wars, and I can't say I've watched it, you know, for the most part, because I was just trying to muscle through to get to today. But I want to go back and rewatch it from the beginning. I want to be able to take it in, because like what you said, Ben, I didn't watch it like you guys did. I'm not going to ever be able to get that same experiences like you guys did, because it was episodic week by week and you guys waited. I don't have to wait. I can go in and watch episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4 back to back to back. So I don't have that feeling of, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Because I can find out what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
But
we had to wait a year after seeing Primal blow up.
I can only imagine what that was like too. You know, that definitely brought back a lot of memories to when our Prime passed away, right, in the movie. So I get it. I am not there with you guys, but I get it. I want to go back and rewatch the series, and I'm going to, because I did enjoy what I watched. I did enjoy the storytelling. I did enjoy the character build, the character arcs. What happened at Dinobot was amazing. Bringing in Tigertron and then turning him into a Tiger Hawk. I was like, oh, what? That's cool. You know, things like that. You know, I loved Air Razor. I thought she was super dope. Yeah. She is like, watching this now. Now I understand why people were pissed off at what happened with Air Razor and Rise of the Beast. I'm like, fuck, why did we get more of her? Yeah. Fudge.
There's our one F-bomb. Wasted.
Why do we?
I agree with that.
You know,
so
I see it now.
Class, man.
Yeah. Yes. Class. Very classy she was.
Quick question from somebody in the chat. What was your favorite version of Megatron in the series? Theirs was Beast Wars Dragon Megatron. Mine is Transmetal 1 Megatron. What would be your favorite?
It would be Transmetal 1 Megatron. There was just something about his form that I like. Yep. See, what I didn't like about the show was like, they look too much like animals, and I don't get the transforming. I was kind of snooty about it, but when I got the Transmetal versions of Megatron and Rat Trap and Cheater, I was like, okay, this is actually really cool. Like it's catching, it's capturing my eye. So when Cheater turns into
can't pronounce Cheater. Minus 10 points.
But when they brought
it's your grade, so
when they brought in the Transmetals, that's when I was like, oh, okay, now you're catching and capturing my attention. So I'm with you, Billy. Transmetal 1 Megatron, I liked his design from a design standpoint. You know, he was still Megatron, but from a design standpoint, I liked his look a lot.
Yeah, I love it. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
Here's an easy question. What was the dark secret of the Axelon's journey?
God damn! Wait. Well, hold on.
Oh,
I mean, I just
okay.
said it line for line.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, what was the purpose of the Axelon's journey? So Megatron's a pirate. He steals the golden disc on Cybertron and takes off. Right.
Mhm.
The Axelon is this group of deep space scientists, explorers. They're not warriors. They're out in deep space on a secret mission, doing something, and they get caught being the closest to Megatron and having to go follow him and try to stop him from what he's doing. They get sucked into the past. They're on Earth. But what were they doing? What was the deep, dark secret of their journey?
Weren't they? And they were the ones too that kind of like accidentally exploded a satellite to prevent that signal from hitting Cybertron, right?
That was the Tripredicus.
No, that was Tripredicus Council.
Tripredicus Council. Now,
Remind me, guide me through
the
this one.
Maximals were experimenting with something, which led to the creation of blank, which led to the Maximals deciding to do something with that blank, and that's what Primal and his crew were doing.
So I was looking at the pretty pictures and the pretty designs, and I was looking at the pretty animation. You know, I'm sure they said words, but I was really trying to admire
When
the
Cheetor
pretty colors.
When Cheetor blasts
Mr.
one
Clifton,
off.
Mr. Clifton.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, I wanted to answer the question, but let me see if I can help you.
Help him, like give him hints.
Because-
We're good.
I'm gonna help you this time. So,
Okay.
All right. So we all know you all know the beginning of the show where they're seen they're coming out of transwarp space.
Yeah.
And they start shooting at each other.
Yeah.
But what happens before that is explained later in season 2. So we all know that Megatron stole the golden disc and fled Cybertron in hopes to, go back to the past and change the future
Yeah.
for the benefit of the Decepticons.
Of the Decepticons. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
eliminate the Autobots at that time. Yeah.
As that was all unfolding, we discover in season 2 that Optimus Primal, his crew, the Axelon, had a mission as a result of something that they tried to do but failed to be able to get that accomplished. Found out that they couldn't handle or couldn't tame what they created, and then they put it in a capsule to dump it in space along the way as they're doing their exploration.
He really just gave you the answer.
Yeah, I know he did too.
So, as a result of that, what was the result of what they did in that instance?
Oh my
The dumping.
God. I saw this too, and I didn't.
Is that fear you're feeling, Maximal?
I can't put it in words. Like I don't know. I really don't. I know Candice is like, are you
Candice is banging her
Candice is just gonna walk off screen now.
I promise.
She quits. She's out, everybody.
She's like,
Candice, why don't you answer it for
Candice is like,
for
this wasn't an end of the week quiz.
Sorry,
This was like
I'm
straight up,
sorry.
like finals right here.
So bad.
Candice,
I was just being
Candice.
really
You
dramatic
know
about it.
what?
That's all.
You have every right to be, because Derek basically did everything but flash a picture of the toy on screen.
Yes, like Derek,
He just whips it up from his collection, holds it up.
He did everything he could to help me out with that right there.
But you know what this says, Eman, though? It's interesting because I was talking about layers to the show before, and what Billy and Derek are both talking about is a very multi-layered story, right? Derek just gave us kind of the blow-by-blow of one layer of that story, but there's a whole other layer to that story. And again, as someone who didn't watch every episode 5 times already, you may have missed one of those layers, but totally gotten another layer of the character. And I think that speaks a lot to the richness of Beast Wars, where what we're alluding to is something that was important for this character, but it's not all the character was. in the show. So that's important as well.
So Ben's dead on. And Ben, you've been wonderful. Like, you explained exactly how I grew up watching Beast Wars. Like, I literally taped it every morning before going to high school because I was 14. And I would come home and I would watch it all week long, every day, like nonstop. Me and Nick, you know Nick very well. The two of us would just watch Beast Wars like it was our home, like our life. But anyway, Eman, what I'm getting at, Starscream was found to have an indestructible spark. The Maximals attempted to clone that indestructible spark. That led to the creation of Rampage. Rampage was put into a permanent stasis and was supposed to be dumped on a barren planet where he can't
wasn't his
hurt
name.
anyone else.
No, it was something X.
There you go.
Protoform X.
See?
There you go.
Got it.
Protoform X. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's bringing something back because I remember Primal was talking about that. He's like, "Yeah, we're supposed to do something."
He was
and
explaining
it
that
failed.
whole.
It failed. So we had to just try to dump him. We're trying to bring him to like a whole nother planet and leave him as far away from Cybertron as possible. But that mission ended up failing, and Protoform X ended up on Earth.
Yes.
with that,
Now there's a really, really, really deep, cool Easter egg that I do not expect you to know. This is not your quiz. This is actually going to be something that Ben, I pray, is going to jump in and fill us in on the really cool details of just how amazing Beast Wars was with the fan faction. We learned that Depth Charge is hunting Rampage because he killed everybody on a specific colony. And that colony was a nod to the fans. I do not expect you to know this answer. In fact, I think I'm not even going to answer it. I'm going to let Ben jump in because I'm sure he has the best telling of this history because I believe you were involved with some of the creative on that show.
It was a colony called Omicron. Actually, Eman, let's be fair. Did you remember that? Like,
yeah. I was gonna say Oracle. I was like, no, it's not Oracle. It was Omicron. I did remember that right there because that's where
this is for Colony Omicron.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was originally a custom transformer that is related to a long defunct business that was online on Usenet back in the day called Starbase Rugby, run by a very dear friend of mine who has since left us. And Starbase Rugby is actually also referenced in the show. This was one of the wonderful things about Beast Wars. Unlike G1, which was kind of created in a bottle, right, in a silo in Hasbro, the writers of Beast Wars, the story editors, Bob Ford and Larry DiTilio, were very aware that there was an online fandom. And they were kind of stalking us before we knew who they were.
Shout out to AOL.
Yep. And on Usenet, All Toys Transformers used to be the prime spot to chat about Transformers on Usenet. And they were there for a little bit. And I remember I lived in New York City when the show first aired. What had happened was in April of that year, they had aired a special 2-part preview, just the first 2 episodes. But the full run wouldn't start until September, right? So I'm looking through my print copy of TV Guide. I'm dating myself here. And I see Beast Wars Transformers. Had no idea what the hell that was, but I was obviously excited, recorded it, loved it, watched it live, and watched it 100 times between April and September. After my second watch or so, I saw Alliance and Mainframe as company names at the end. So I did what was then the equivalent of Googling them, and I found an email address. And I wrote to them and I said, hey, this is a longtime Transformers fan here. This is a great show. I hope great things happen for you guys and that this is successful. And within a week, Bob Ford actually wrote back to me and said, hey, glad you're enjoying the show. We've got a lot of stuff planned. And from there, we just started developing this relationship where they kind of tapped me for knowledge of the previous shows. Now, what was wonderful about it is then they kind of eventually once the show aired in September and started roaring and the fans were really getting into it, they kind of like revealed themselves and say, "Hey, everybody, we're here, we're listening." And they started to chat with the community. They would meet some of us at conventions, and they developed this relationship with fandom. The result of that would be there are many, many references, usually names of things like a colony, for instance, or a sector, and those names are directly referencing fan screen names in the show. So M Cipher is one. He's an old friend of mine. Starbase Rugby, aforementioned one. So if you hear things that sound like, that's kind of a weird name for a Transformers sector or whatever, it's probably referencing a fan. So yeah, I love that layer. I'm not going to get into it because you could do an hour dissertation on just this topic.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Hey
Wow.
man,
So,
I got time.
so
Look, honestly,
So
we're
the
so
creators-
past our shut time, but there's just so much good stuff going on. Like I know we're having fun with at Eman's expense, but Ben's sharing this wealth of knowledge. The crowd's enjoying it, and you know, it's just a blast. So, yeah,
that's really cool to hear that the creators, the creative team paid attention and listened to the fans and actually made nods to them on a major TV show. That's very big. That tells you that they cared about what fans were saying. They cared about what, you as a viewer who wants to watch a show wants to see. And no one really does that anymore. And that's huge nowadays. And that's very important nowadays. So you being able to put in some time on something like that and being able to kind of like, you help with the show, Ben. It's really cool to hear that I'm on a panel with someone who helped with the TV show that's renowned around the world, around fandom, and like you're one of the people. I got to interview you. I didn't even know this.
I say it every time Ben's on that he is the reason I'm sitting here today. Like this man, what he did for Transformers, I still don't believe he gets enough credit. So thank you, Ben.
I appreciate that.
I just want to say
team
this.
effort.
I just want to say this. I've known Ben now for over 20 years. Probably. Is it?
Don't be telling them how old we are.
Known Ben for over 20 years. And all the time I've known him, I have never thought to ask him for his autograph. So Ben, the next time we get together, I want an autograph. I want an autograph for something that, I'm gonna have you autograph something,
You got to have him autograph a
just for old
Rhinox
time's
figure.
sake, So yeah, it's like, like I said, I've known this man a long time.
That's because we're having too much fun, when we're having
right,
dinner and
and
stuff.
that's
At my
that's
expense.
probably what
It's
it
okay.
is. All them drinks, anyway. So it's like, yeah, but me and Ben, we go back to AOL. That's how far we go back, the AOL boards and all that type of stuff. And I can still remember some of the names in that group, that chat group that we were in, and I wish I knew where some of those folks were now, man, because if they could see what we're doing now, man, look at us, came a long way. And shout out for the fact that they gave you. I'm really proud of the fact that they gave you story consulting credit on Beast Wars. Because that was amazing.
When you saw that name pop up.
Yeah.
When Bob told me that was going to happen, I don't know why, but in my brain, I kept expecting it to get cut. Like he was going to do it, and then like the editor was going to go, nah, just cut it out. And I remember the first day, Agenda Part 1 aired, and the credits rolled, and it's the first thing that comes up, and I was shocked. Because I thought even if they kept it, it would be buried, like at the very end or something. And I was I'm still stunned. I think about it now, and I don't know why, but my brain's for some reason thinks the universe will just delete it for some reason. But yeah, it's one of the greatest honors I've ever had in Transformers fandom.
You paved the way. I'm gonna say it. You pretty much paved the way for the fandom to become involved in the project. You know what I mean? So it's not because it shows how forward thinking they were at the time to involve the fans so they can, make something true out of their product. to make it genuine, because everything that all the advice and all the guidance that you've been able to give them help them get what we got right now. So shout out to you for bridging that gap, because you really did bridge that gap for us as fans and them as the creator. So yeah, shout out to you for that.
Thanks, Eric. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest. The agenda, the 3 episodes, right? The agenda is everything, right? Like that's everything. I love Beast Wars, but those 3 episodes, what they did for me, like every episode, I'm like, are they really going to do it? Are they really going to do it? Are they really going to do it? Then we get that amazing one-liner that I know Eman knows what I'm talking about, right? It's a lost art, Eman.
I'm listening.
What's a lost art?
I'm listening.
You're rapidly Googling.
No. I kind of gave up on it a long time ago.
What were the original Transformer toys made of?
Diecast?
There you go.
Hey!
And then
I got
ultimately
one.
leading up to the arc opening and seeing the bots we grew up with
Oh,
larger
yeah,
than
yeah, yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And then Megatron just comes up and actually blows Optimus's head off, comes out, it's like, and you no longer exist. Like that was mind blowing. There's never been a better hook for me to come back and watch a show than that. Right. So that's just peak Transformers. I'm here and
Eman, Billy, I think, Candice, you definitely know this. Derek, you know this. And Billy, I think you know this. But I'll tell the story for Eman's benefit and those in the audience chatting who may not know. When the arc appeared, it was a huge effort because they didn't have any of that as previs or assets or anything. All that had to be built from scratch. Bob Ford reached out to me about, this is 30-year memory, but I would say a minimum of at least 3 to 4 months before that episode was animated. And he said, we want to show the arc, but we need reference. And no one here has copies of the original series. Can you send us reference? So I put several episodes of G1 on a cassette tape, and I FedExed it to them. And this doesn't sound like a big deal now, but FedEx in the 90s was a little more expensive than it is now.
Way expensive.
Yeah. So I had to get FedEx it to them. To keep in mind, folks, at this time, G1 was not in a collection like you can buy a DVD collection now, right? Yeah. You couldn't do that back then. You could buy select episodes on disc, but they had the copy protection on them. Yeah. So what I was sending them was what I recorded off television. And fortunately for them, I had 2 VCRs hooked up. So I transferred, sent them the tapes. That's what they used for reference for those episodes. Now, obviously, they took some artistic license, but everything that happened in Agenda in the arc was the animators just scrutinizing the tape that I sent them to render those episodes. So that's a fun little thing not everyone knows.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that's just incredible.
Yeah. Man, Ben, man.
Yeah, bridging the gap.
And I interviewed this guy talking about toys.
We talked about other stuff.
Yeah, this guy right here. I know. We did talk about some other things, but
that was a cool interview, man. I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to see it in the final form.
Yeah.
So TM 2DB states, fun fact, the animators intentionally broke scale for the arc scene. And while it looks amazing, that decision has caused no end of turmoil for fans arguing about heights and scale. I do agree that they did break the scale, but it was necessary to just show like just how much larger than life those original characters were. It showed the stature of those Gen 1 characters, and it paid a beautiful homage to what we grew up with. I mean, I grew up watching those Gen 1 cartoons. I grew up watching the G2 with the Cybercube. I cried my eyes out when Optimus Prime died. You know, I was only like 6, you know, but that was necessary, I feel. How do you guys feel? Do you guys agree that larger than life size was needed, or do you think it kind of hurt
Well,
the way things went.
it's interesting how you phrased that, Billy, because you actually hit the nail on the head. So the writer intent, the artistic intent, was that the G1 Transformers were essentially like the Greek gods. And our characters, Megatron, Optimus, and everyone, they were the equivalent of Hercules, let's say, right? They had the G1 characters had to look gigantic because they were perceived almost like gods. The reverence for them was so deep
Yep.
among Maximals, especially, is that's how they saw them. So the artistic license there is it's not just a physical representation. It was, but it's also us seeing those characters through their eyes. So that is absolutely what they intended, Billy. So you picked up on it. And that's perfect.
Yeah, they hit the nail on the head. I mean, in my eyes. I do want to bring up one thing. We're around 11 o'clock, I believe. Candice, you've been so
wow.
quiet. I need you to join in and grill this man for me.
Uh-oh.
It's
Oh, man.
Instead of being like the air raiser of our group, I need the Black Arachne to come out and ask this man something difficult.
I don't have a black arachne. I'm very much maximal, good guys all the way.
Yes,
There's no
that's right.
Predacons here.
You can ask me the most basic of questions, Candice, and my ADHD is so kind of like, oh my god, this is not gonna happen. This is gonna happen. Do you remember what happened? Well, oh, what color of day was this? You can ask me the easiest question, and I will absolutely fail it because. But go ahead, please.
Okay, Tigatron was hanging out with a real white tiger for a while. What was that tiger's name?
Ooh.
Holy cow, Candice. That is literally the question I thought you were going to ask.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God. That's creepy. Wow.
That's a good
What's going on here?
Okay, I need you to ask that one more time. Really, really slow. Because I'm pretty sure some people out there probably didn't catch that.
It's in my brain, but I'm trying to formulate the name.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Say it again, Candice.
What was the name of the tiger, the real tiger that Tigatron was hanging out with for a couple episodes?
Okay, hold on. I'm thinking tiger, white, hot.
White.
Empire Strikes Back. Snow. Snow. Hold on. Shh. Hold on. This is how my ADHD works. Snow. Hold on. It's okay. White tiger, snow, snow stalker.
Yes.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you
Look
go.
at that.
Nice.
Look at that. Awesome.
All right. Good.
Guess what I think?
What's the
Guess
name
what
of
I think? You can't get any dumber. You go and totally redeem yourself.
You see how the brain works? You see, I was like, hold on, wait, hold on, snow. I know there's something to do with snow. Wait, hold on, bring it back to Hoth. All right, Empire Strikes Back. Hold on, wait. That's how my brain has to work.
It goes that middle school girl I loved in 8th grade that didn't know I existed.
Her favorite scent was flowers. Something.
She wore Janko jeans.
Wow.
Yo, okay.
Snow stalker. That's right.
All
That was
right.
his boy right there. That's right.
Nice.
We are legitimately getting close to the witching hour. Derek's been keeping a checklist all night. How do we want to grade our man Eman here?
Eman, first of all, thank you for allowing us the time to really do this with you and help us realize just how old we are. Anyway,
Seriously.
to be fair, he actually did much better than I expected him to do.
Oh, damn.
And, I'm actually going to give him a solid C+.
You passed.
That's good. I was thinking
I'm
gonna give him a C+.
myself.
And it's truly because of the effort. He wrote his name on the paper. I gave him that.
On the top right corner.
He showed up to class.
He showed up to class, and gotta give him credit for that. Actually, I'll give him 3 points for that. But
But the points don't matter.
But yeah, it's the effort in which he went in and did it. That he tried to be consistent with watching the show and got all the way through the end, all the way to the end of season 3. You know, the thing that hurt him most was pronunciation of names, the not knowing when Maximals are farting, and what was the other one? I forgot to write this one down, but
Not knowing who Protoform X was.
well, yeah, well, then there's that, and
The rubber ducky.
The rubber
Oh, the rubber
ducky.
the rubber
Ducky's
ducky.
big.
Yeah, I
Rubber
forgot
ducky.
about that one. Yeah, okay, let me get those 3 points back.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
we're off now.
Yeah,
knock you down to a
it
C
was.
minus.
Might be
It
nice.
was a challenging night for
You know,
Eman.
you know that ribbon you get when you don't finish first, second, or third in elementary school. Everyone gets that ribbon.
Everybody gets
you know,
that
it's
little
like,
blue
Participation.
ribbon.
Well, better
None
yet, a
of us-
participation trophy.
None of
Yeah,
us got
that's it.
participation trophies
No, no,
growing
I-
up. Let's be honest.
Until you get to the D level, I don't think we got to worry about that. So you're still in C territory. You're good.
Right.
You get the yellow ribbon, so you're good.
there you
There
go.
you go. There you go.
And
Yeah.
honestly, I will say this: I'm so happy that you actually did enjoy Beast Wars, and that after watching it, you've decided, yeah, I would go back and rewatch this and pick up on the things that inspired us. Like Candice is one of is the best Beast Wars artist out there. Like, I mean,
Yep.
your work. No, I love it. Like
I
love-
want one of those prints, man.
Yeah.
That print from TFCon looks amazing.
I
You?
couldn't agree more. I love, like, you sign
Difference.
online and your feed shows up and Candice will put like a couple lines of like a teaser that she's drawing something. And you know that in like a few weeks, you're going to start seeing a little bit more of some particular character. And it's always going to be amazingly hand drawn to be better than or identical to what you saw on the screen. Like it's beautiful. So you were inspired in a way that I wasn't. I think it's amazing. Like, it made me want to do is go voice act and be a character, and here I am
Right.
doing podcasts, you know.
I
But-
will say that Beast Wars is the only reason I'm still drawing. Like, it was the thing I was really interested in back when I was 12.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
Beast Wars came out, and I'm like, damn, I wanna try to recreate this because I really like these characters. I love the stories, and let me see what I can do
Golly.
here with the VCR and my little drawing pad in front of the TV. So
12.
here I
Gosh.
am.
Wow.
And
I was
12,
21.
when it came out. Yeah.
I was 14 when it came
Okay,
out.
we're not going to do that, guys.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not doing that.
We ain't
Sorry.
doing that. No.
Where were we back? Go back to
We are signing off right now. So yeah. Yeah.
And Candice,
A few more years to get that discount at IHOP, all right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Candice,
I'm
I
already-
just followed
I'm
you
already
on
getting
Instagram.
it. So anyway,
Eman, her work is incredible.
Yeah.
it
And
is.
obviously
It really is.
Beast Wars,
Thank you.
I mean, Ben is Beast Wars. Like, man, I was on BWTF.com every day
Yes.
hoping for some sort of an update, something like some new toy coming out, some, new show coming out. I still remember my heart being broken when you shared the first look at the Maximals from Beast Machines,
Mm.
and that look of Primal in his robot mode, not having a prime head. Like, I just couldn't grasp it. But then I watched it and I loved it. Like, I love Beast Machines Primal, but all my first views were always through Ben. And,
Mhm.
a funny story, Ben and I don't know, maybe you guys do have this mutual friend, this gentleman, Nick, who runs St. Mark's Comics. Him and I, my first BotCon was BotCon 2001 down in South Carolina.
Mm.
And I've told this story before, but Nick and I drove down, not caring that we were going to get to meet like Scott McNeil and all these great voice actors. It was, we're going to see Ben Yee. We fucking stalked that conference trying to find Ben. Like, that was our like,
I was
and
there
don't get me wrong.
somewhere.
Yeah, you were there somewhere. But like, it was like the top three things going through our minds were, we're going to get to see Ben Yee. They're going to have the Blast Punch Optimus Primal at the Big Bad Toy Store table because
Yeah.
nobody else had Blast
Yeah.
Punch Optimus Primal. And the Car Robots line just dropped, whereas we had already, or the RID line dropped, but we had already imported it from China under Car Robots. But like, it wasn't that, oh, Peter Cullen's here. It wasn't, oh, Scott McNeil's here. It was Ben Yee is going to be at this convention. And like, we would even go to like Red Lobster and hope maybe he's eating at this Red Lobster, like whatever it was.
Wow.
No, because
Wow.
like,
Oh, that's
Ben
so
was
weird because like I was kind of everywhere. Like I was in the dealer's room, I was in the panel rooms, I was around, and we all had name
Yeah.
tags on.
But like
Sure
that was
did.
who we were looking for. Ben was like, a legend then. And
Yep.
again, as Derek said, thank you for what you've done for this community. Like, think about it. Like, if you didn't create that bwtf.com and share everything, the community wouldn't have like found as much of that information, and maybe
Yeah.
wouldn't be even what it is today. The community itself was built around what you created. So thank you. And then,
Well, I appreciate that. I want to give credit to everyone who jumped on the bandwagon too, right? First of all, the Alt Toys Transformers crowd, many of those people became lifelong friends to me, and I love them dearly, and that was really what I sought to emulate a lot of the time, the community that I found on there. And then other sites like AllSpark popped up and
Yep.
so on, and I just, it's been fascinating and wonderful watching all these different communities sprout up over the years. And now, like, there's 100,000 groups out there right now, all dedicated to Transformers. Could not have imagined that happening back in the day. And I think it's a testament to the fandom as a whole, that they want to find connection with each other. And I'm glad that I had a small piece of that beginning, but it's just grown so much beyond any one person or group or site at this point.
Absolutely.
And I love seeing that. This podcast is a perfect example of that. And I'm happy to be part of it, because to me, this podcast is a descendant of what All Toys Transformers began and I began and so on. And it's a thrill for me to see this is even possible.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. That's a great way to put it. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Now, Derek, obviously, man, we've got a history together.
Oh yeah.
You are one of the most outspoken and honest people in this community. If I need to reach out about something, or if you need to reach out, like, we know we're there for each other, but you're there for anybody that is looking for it. Like, you're just always there for this community, and thank you. And that's a big part of why I love having you on the show. You are
Anytime, man.
a
Yeah.
forge. Like, you are,
Thank you.
thank you.
Billy, did Derek ever tell you what he asked Daniel Warren Johnson at the first Skybound Comics panel?
No.
This dude's sitting right next to me at New York Comic Con, and this is when the first issue would come out, and one of the first things Starscream does is blast Bumblebee in the head and kill him.
Yeah.
And Johnson was giggling about this on stage. It was unsettling. And Derek remembers. He knows. And like, when it came time to Q&A, and Derek, correct me on the phrase, I'm paraphrasing you, okay? But he just straight up asked this dude something like, "When are you going to stop messing with our childhood?" It was so great.
Oh,
He's a straight
I was
shooter.
serious. I was
And
like,
now everything has changed again.
look, I stand 10 toes on everything I did that day.
Damn right.
So,
We were all thinking it, but you said it.
Right. I was like, yo, okay, I'm gonna make him feel responsible for what he did. It's like, but no, I mean, it was all in fun. But it was just like, but it was people for the people that were seriously thinking about it.
Yeah.
If they ain't want to say nothing. That's what I'm there for.
Yep.
I'm gonna be your voice. I am the voice of the voiceless in this community. I'm
Yep.
gonna,
It was great.
try to have some tact to it, but and it brings a little bit of humor. But when it needs to be said, I am going to be that one to be able to say it. I've had people whisper in my ear. We'd be in panels, and I'd be having people whisper in my ear, be like, "Yo, can you ask them?" I'm like, "Well, you gonna ask them?" Embarrass me, but yeah, but no, thanks for that, Billy, man.
Yeah.
I love being around this community. I've been loving it for years, because it's a community of everyone, male and female, that love Transformers and love love 80s retro stuff at the same time too. I mean, we all grew up with this, you know. If you
Yeah.
grew up in the 80s, it was the absolute funnest time of your life, you know.
Hell yeah.
I mean, because
Hell yeah.
I mean, in that era, man, I mean, I don't down anybody's era, you know, but I'm a Gen Xer, you know. Gen
Preach it.
X, all of us in Gen X, we grew up good. We grew up in some fun times. Yeah, there were some
Hell
sad
yeah.
times. There were some sad times, but the fun times outweighed the bad times, you know. So I loved
Saturday
every
from
minute
8
of it.
a.m. to 12 p.m., baby.
Yes.
Sold.
Yes.
Sold.
Saturday in your PJs with your Mr. T cereal in front of you, or whatever variety of
Yeah.
cereal that you
So-
loved during that time. Donkey
Yep.
Kong. I mean,
Hey.
I'm not. Yeah, they had. Yeah, we had Cheerios, and I'm talking about we had real cereal like Donkey Kong Jr., Mr. T.
But
We had
Batman. You're the Batman cereal, bro.
yeah, we had all those. We had all every most characters back in those days. They had they had breakfast lines for them. They had all kinds of candy for them. Yo, man, I mean, shout out to diabetes, man. I'm telling you, we had it. But you know, it's just like, you know, but we had that, you know. But to fast forward for today, I love everybody. We all love this.
Yep.
We all have our different opinions about it, but we respect our opinions nonetheless. And that's what this community is about. You know, it's being able to accept people for who they are, and, you know, and love them for who they are, you know, and be respectful for who they are, you know. I love the term respect your elders. You know, I ain't an elder yet, but I love that term because our elders teach us who we are supposed to be, you know. And I like to think that as a pending elder, I want to teach the young how they should be when it comes to this fandom. You know,
Yeah.
you know, we have to act accordingly. Gone are those days where, you know, we just get up and just be disrespectful. Nah, I'm not all about that. I'm all about us getting together, just having a great time, because we got too much stuff to be worried about in this world right now. Yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But I'm telling you, when I get to these conventions, when I get to these get-togethers, I don't think about none of that. I think about the fun times we have. You know, I think about, you know, the creativeness that we all have in this community. Our artists, our vendors, our, you know, the people that sell us stuff, the people we buy from, the people that we sell to, the stories that we talk about. We talk about previous events. You know, man, I remember when so and so did this, man, when he wore this shirt and all of that. It's like, it's almost like being in high school all over again, but in a positive way. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, you get to be at the cool kids table. You know, all of us didn't get a chance to be at the cool kids table when we were growing up. But guess what?
No.
But guess what? We've made a cool kids table, and that's all of us. So shout out to
Hell yeah.
everybody that's part of this community, and, you know, continue to be a part of this community. Bring what you bring. But we love you guys, and I loved absolutely every moment of this episode. I can't wait to watch it again.
Yeah, this was a
Watching
fun
what we
one.
do to eat, man, it was an absolute thrill. And, you know, I can't wait to show this off to all my friends. So, yeah.
Now, with
I,
that, with that,
I did
'cause we
all
are
this
gonna be
on
wrapping it
purpose,
up.
to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
I just love
It's
I
a
love the
ruse.
fact that we was in the chat, man. We was hyping them up, but we was grilling them in the chat and everything. Oh my God, we was really giving it to Eman.
Yeah.
Eman, thanks for being such a great sport
Hell yeah.
in this
Yeah.
whole thing, man. This is absolutely
And
fun.
an amazing part of the community too, as well.
Yes.
I mean,
Thank you, guys.
just recently, just rising in through this community. I mean, you just are freaking amazing,
Yeah.
dude.
I'm
Indeed.
watching you grow. Like, I remember when you first came to me talking about reviews and Transformers stuff. I'm like, hey, should I do this Optimus Prime? You know, and seeing where you are now with your most recent Magic Square Optimus Prime review, that went pretty much viral. That thing blew up. So congratulations there. But thank you for putting up with us tonight, right? Like, obviously we busted your balls, but we love you. Like, you are a light. You are a beacon of joy. Like, I've never had a bad experience with you. I'm very jealous at the quality of all your videos. No matter what I do, I
Yes.
cannot get there. If you want to send me a full kit, I would appreciate it. But joking. Thank you for being a good sport tonight. Thank you for putting up with all the abuse, and thank you for watching Beast Wars. Truthfully, thank you for watching Beast Wars, because man, I obviously I love me some Beast Wars, but you didn't grow up with that. It wasn't your thing, and you still took the time to watch 3 seasons. What is it? 32, 45,
episodes.
52?
Yeah.
Yeah, 52 episodes minus the 3 you skipped in season 3.
It's a lot.
So 49 episodes of Transformers in around a month. Thank you for that. I what I should have done was given you, I have like a little cheat sheet for season 1, because as Ben said, there's a few filler episodes that you could skip. But there's also some pinnacle.
What? No.
Season 1?
You don't skip episodes in Beast Wars at all.
That's a cardinal sin, on like
and we
my
will not
second
tolerate
episode
that,
when I
sir.
watch things.
I think you could if you were speed running it, like if you had to like cram. Like you don't have to watch Power Surge. Nothing really happens in there that affects anything else later on.
True.
But it's useful to know the dynamics of the Predacons. And it's also unusual for any Transformer show to have Decepticon or Predacon centric episodes. Almost every Transformer show focuses around the good guys. So it's nice to have episodes where it's just kind of the bad guys doing their thing, and the good guys are just kind of watching from a distance. So it really depends on what you're looking to get out of it. I think like that's an example where you watch it for fun, but also the nuance. But if you just need factoids, then there's certain episodes you could just skip.
Yeah, I agree with Ben there. I have a question. Like I said, we are going to be wrapping up, but since we just did this Beast Wars thing, right? We had fun. I had fun. How do we feel in like June or July doing a Beast Machines one?
Oh my god, I knew you was gonna ask this.
Is that the one where I just watch you guys fight?
I love Beast Machines. Like that took the twist with Megatron. Like that's the greatest Megatron story arc ever. I love Beast Machines.
Yeah.
So I would be pro, but would you guys be interested in returning for a Beast Machines panel?
I wouldn't mind. I
mean, I have to since I'm a co-host. So
you're just getting dragged back into
it. Go back and man the chat.
Oh wow!
Hey.
No, I'm kidding.
All right.
Jimmy.
Here comes all the comments about Billy's hair.
I'll tell you this.
That was so bad. That was bad.
If I can reveal this, Ben, I actually enjoyed Beast Machines better as a result of being part of Ben's group back in the day. I remember when we were particularly that one instance when we were all trying to guess who Thrust was. Remember that, Ben? And we were trying to we were all in our chat.
Those were the times, man.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, those are fun times.
Yeah.
And I every time I think about Beast Machines, and I think about the fun parts, I think about that chat group. And if I would love to come back and talk about that.
I think that'd be fun. I'm just full disclosure. I had a lot less to do with Beast Machines. I had barely anything to do with Beast Machines because by that point the writing staff had changed, the production staff had largely changed, and they decided to go in a different direction when it came to fan involvement. But I do have some thoughts on it that are very nuanced. They're not just pro or con. There's a lot of in my mind, amazing things Beast Machines did, and then there are a few things that it did that I vehemently disagree with. And I actually had a very long conversation with Bob Skier about this 2-3 years ago, and he explained his rationale, and I totally get it. I totally get what he was looking to do. And I think people who made him the villain back in the day, I think first of all we were a lot younger. A lot of us were less mature, including myself, and I don't think we all fully understood what was being presented to us at the time with Beast Machines. And I've had decades to reflect on it. And after that long conversation with him, asking him questions that I've had for decades, I understand it a lot better now. And now that I'm a lot older and a lot more mature, and I've lived more and I've seen more politics happen and the real world happen, a lot of Beast Machines feels a lot more applicable to the world. So this is not a position I could have had 20 years ago, right? So where I sit on Beast Machines now is very different than where it would have been back in the day. So I think it would be an interesting conversation, because I think initial reaction was very negative from a lot of people, and I think that's mellowed over time as people have come to understand what it meant.
Yeah, like I said, as a fan, then I truly loved Beast Machines. Like, this first season is a little wonky, but what it builds into for that second season is just incredible. I love it. I love the route they took. So I think that'd be fun. Maybe, this won't be a roast, man. This is just going to be sheer friends discussing what happened with this series, especially to go from what Beast Wars was, right? Like, I don't want to spoil anything because I don't believe Eman has watched a single Beast Machines episode.
Not at all.
So there's not going to be any spoilers, but like, it is as polar opposite as you can get, right? Like, there's no other way to word it. So,
and it's a little bit of an easier watch. I'm looking at it. It looks like it's a little bit of an easier watch. 2 seasons, 26 episodes. So literally,
it's faster.
It's far faster pace. There's some things that I don't like, but you're not going to like everything with it. It's just impossible. Like, there's Gen 1 episodes that I could never care if I ever see them again, so,
except for Beast Wars, you watch everything there, right?
I do.
Billy loves everything. We got to watch there.
Listen. My 7-year-old and I were fighting this evening as we were watching Beast Wars together, and he's like, "This show's terrible, Dad," and I'm like, "No, it's not, son." But
go back to your YouTubes, your tactics and
tactics,
your book faces, your book face.
But with that, you guys have been such an amazing family tonight with us here, right? Like, I'm calling us a family. We were, it was just a fun night. Everybody was just wonderful. We all built on each other, and thank you for that. Jimmy and I will not be having a show next week, nor the following week, because that is Easter Sunday. I'm not, like, family day, like, it's happening.
Yeah.
And
I'll be doing a convention next week. So
I'll be at Great Wolf Lodge, or else I would have said, hey, somebody want to come on and do a show with me, I would have done an open invite.
Since we're family, we'll see y'all at the next cookout.
Yeah. Hey, I would love to. I've invited Ben to a few cookouts, but his schedule doesn't work. If I throw a cookout, I'll send some invites out. Let me see what this summer brings. But with that, thank you guys. Thank you to the chat.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having us, man.
Thank you.
This was fun. This was really fun.
This was a fun night. We broke 2 hours. I just want to say.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it didn't feel like it. It felt like 5 minutes. Like, I felt like there just wasn't enough time. To the chat, I know there were some things that we didn't get to, but you guys were wonderful tonight. And thank you all for joining us. Our next guest, I believe, is TF Arc Legends. We're going to be talking dioramas, displays. If you don't follow TF Arc Legends, man, I build dioramas for, like, the fun of it, but this guy's on a whole nother level, bringing in beautiful airbrush backgrounds and stuff. So check out TF Arc Legends so you guys can know what's coming up on our next show. And then if anybody would like to be on our show that's in this chat, Jimmy and I are always open. Reach out to us. We've got a Facebook group. We've got an email. Like, there's ways to reach us. Or you could just reach out on Facebook personally. Like, I'm friends with whoever wants to be my friend. Just be a decent human being and we're good. And I will be more than happy to work with you to get you on the show. So with that, I'm out. I've got nothing left in me. My tank's empty. Jimmy, would you like to send us off? Because you didn't get to.
Yes. That's okay. I was monitoring for douchebags in the chat. So that's what I do when we have something like this. So, but thank you, every single person. So tune in the next time we have in 2 weeks, well, 3 weeks, when we see TF Arc Legends. So we can't wait. So